And good morning to everybody across the Sunshine State as we get ready here for the release of the 2024 and 2025 FHSAA classifications for football. We are set to go here and kind of get the table set here for everybody across the state, and I definitely appreciate everybody tuning in as we await for the FHSAA to drop these. They said 10 o'clock. Around 1:30 yesterday afternoon, 10 o'clock this morning Eastern time, 9 o'clock Central time for everybody else in the Central time. And wherever you're watching us from, appreciate y'all joining us here as we get ready. We're going to do a lot of reaction here over the next hour, a little over an hour, I should say. And if you got comments, questions, if there's anything I can address before we see what the FHA pops up here, we're going to bring it up on the screen once they drop it on the FHA website. Once they do that, we will be able to bring that to you and talk a little bit more about it. I'm going to actually adjust my mic so hear a little bit more so that way it's a little bit closer. There we go. All right. So yes, indeed, we are getting ready for the release of the 2024-2025 football classifications and districts. My understanding is this, what I'm hearing. I don't expect 16 districts per classification. I don't expect it. I'm expecting 12. I'm hearing a 12. There is even some possibilities of going 8 districts per classification, meaning creating super districts at this particular point, and meaning a large number of district gains for a lot of teams. But I think the 12 district model is going to be what we might see here this morning. It would be the first time since the late 90s, early 2000s, since we've seen the 12-team district model be used. And I'm really, interested to see what's going to happen here in terms of that placement, what is going to, how the districts are going to be laid out. Because what I was looking at, if y'all saw, a lot of y'all went on the FHSFootball.com earlier this week and saw the projections, not only the 16 district model, but the 12 district model as well. So with that said, I'm kind of curious to see what is going to be put on the districts. We're going to see what's going to happen. There were some interesting scenarios in terms of teams potentially, creating, how the districts would be laid out, because we got to remember we have the panhandle. So Florida's geography is unique in a lot of ways. So we have to keep that in mind here as we're going to look at these districts here. So kind of keeping an eye on the FHA Twitter feed here, because that's probably where I'm going to see. I'm going to actually keep an eye on the FHA website as well as we go through here this morning. And we already got comments popping in the chat here. So let's do that. And let's go into the chat. Oh, man, I'm not sure if the comments, some comments we're going to see with pop up. Some comments we will not. But we will see what happens here over the next few minutes here. And I'm trying to take a look here. Okay, yeah, nothing has popped up yet, but I'm keeping an eye on several pages here. Once they drop, I'll bring up the page here and we'll go through it together. We'll talk about it. We'll go over it and all that. So that's what we're gonna do here as we get things. I'm gonna share this out because we're streaming on not only on YouTube, but we're also streaming on Facebook and on X or Twitter. And I'm gonna share this out to several groups here, so that way everybody can tune in and watch, leave their comments here. Of course, if you got a comment, if you're on Facebook or on YouTube, you can leave a comment here and I'll answer your comments here in just a moment here. You can drop that, start popping those questions in there. I will post those as well as we roll along here, and trying to share this video out here to several groups. Got actually multiple groups here, so this is what we're gonna do as well. So let's share to the feed. Trying to share the group in the way that the way they have it set on here. Let's do this here. All right, here we go. All right, Anthony Matty said, "Is it going to be districts as well?" From what I heard, just say classification. When they say classifications, I assume also the districts as well. This is going to be. I'm assuming the districts as well. We're going to see what the districts are going to look like. I would be stunned if we don't see what the districts look like, because that would be would be very shocking if we don't see what that's going to look like, because honestly, I think a lot of people want to see what the districts look like. I think everybody wants to know what their district, because really, honestly, the coaches are ready to start scheduling. The coaches want to start scheduling. The coaches want to know what their options are. And I honestly, they're ready for Christmas. They're ready for Christmas here. They're ready to do everything. So let's take a look. Joe Settle III says, go Niceville Eagles. We'll see where Niceville lands at. I'm having a feeling they're going to land probably in Class 6A. That I can tell you right now. That's probably my feeling right now. And will this be comical and tragical? Craig Reynolds says, I don't know. We'll leave that question. That's going to be open-ended right there on that one. And Kenton Jones said this should be Eastern hearing. Yes, it definitely will be. Coach Greg Kleiman from Anclet says, appreciate what you do for our sport in the state. Appreciate that as well. And coaches are already starting to schedule. Yes, Coach Ripley chiming in. Yes, coaches are chiming in on this one. Coaches are already starting to schedule. Yes, they are trying to schedule. This is why it's important to know what their district is, what it's going to look like here. All right, so we're 4 minutes till 10 o'clock here Eastern time and everything. So we're kind of taking a look here. And Kevin Tiller asked, is this, actually, I thought I just had it pulled up here. There we go. Is this for only football or all sports? This is for football only. They updated it in another tweet afterwards. It's when they posted it yesterday, it's just football. All the other fall sports, since they don't have mandated district play, those will come later. But football with mandated district play, that comes first. So... Palmetto in the house. Appreciate that. And then go Madison Cowboys. We got Jim Lee there. We got the Gaylor Cowboys going in. Ace McFly sitting here joining us as well. Reigns Vikings in the house as well. So we got a lot of people from around the state joining us this morning. Good morning to all of y'all. I mean, this is great, wonderful here on the Friday before Christmas. Happy holidays to everybody. And we are getting set here. I'm going to keep an eye on the FHSAA website and keep an eye on their Twitter feed. I call it Twitter feed still, even though it's X. And let's see. Nothing yet. I am looking to see if this drops. I'm keeping an eye on several different pages here on the FHSAA website. This could drop here at any point here. So... boy, the team, everybody is chiming in. Who is in the house? Crescent City's in the house. Somerset Canyon's in the house. Union County in the house. Wakulla. Atlantic Sharks from Port Orange. Mulberry is in the house. Durant is in the house. Good morning to all of you across the Sunshine State. I know a lot of you are on Christmas break, or going on Christmas break starting today, and this is definitely a fun time of year in a way of getting ready for the holidays and all that. So we hope y'all have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. If you're celebrating Hanukkah, I know Hanukkah's already over, but Happy Hanukkah to all of y'all who did celebrate Hanukkah. Frostproof is in the house. Everglades is in the house. Dunbar, Durant, St. Andrews. I mean, this is wonderful. This is great. We are set for the FHSAA to drop this at any particular moment here. We are 2 minutes till 10 o'clock. They said 10 o'clock, but I don't count on it being right on 10 o'clock on the dot here. So, yes, an Matt Brazelton says, thanks for doing this. An exciting day. Yes, and good morning to you, Alatra Prep. Go CC from head coach Chris Arvey. Freeport Bulldogs in the house. Wakaiva is in the house. And Fleming Island is in the house. Good morning to all of you, as well as we get ready here for what we are going to see here from the FHSAA. So I'm going to, let's see. Let's do this. I'm going to go ahead and pull up a Chrome tab and see if I can pull it up here. Okay, I've got it ready to go. I'm kind of keeping an eye on this. The moment we get this pulled up, I'll pull it up on the screen, but I'm kind of, this is getting interesting. Oh, well, good. All right, we got more coming in here. Okay, question from Alex Martin. Question: with 12 districts, are we assuming 3 district champs and 5 at large? Yes, that would be correct. I would assume 3 district champs and 5 at large in this situation if it is 12 districts. If it's 8 districts, I mean, it's going to be two district champs, 4 6 at large. So that would be interesting. But I know that was a rumor going around. I don't think that's a possibility. I just think that would be too large, in my opinion. 12 districts per class would seem to be right because they would get into the model of hitting about 5 to 7 teams per district, make the districts larger, make less scheduling headaches for a lot of coaches. And that's what the idea would be behind the 12 district model, which is something the FHSAA has used, but it's been over 20 years since they've used that model. So we'll roll along with that one. Like Mineola is in the house. Coach Robert Ripley says, appreciate you, Josh, always being a voice and working for our state. Appreciate that as well. Let me see if we have anything, and I mean anything here. And yes, we do have it here available. They have just dropped. Let me get that situated here for everybody here because the link just dropped and we are going to hit this off here. All right, football classifications are available. Okay, so let me go ahead and pull up the screen here. We've got it available. We are rocking and rolling here. Good morning to everybody here. As you can see on your screen here, rural classification is going to be called 1R still. So the number of teams, 32 teams from 111 to 558. So this is your enrollment spreads here that we're seeing right now from the FHSAA. All right, 7A, 2512 to 4,627, 69 teams. 6A, 67 teams. 5A, 66. 4A, 65. 3A, 63 teams. 2A, 61 teams. 1A, 61 teams. And of course, rural will be the smallest, 32. These classifications are tentative pending appeal process from the FHSAA. So let's get rolling into here with the classifications. So they have it in PDF. I'm going to the PDF form here, and I'm going to open this a little bit further. Here we go. And I'm going to expand this out if it will show here. Actually, hold on. Let me bring it up because it automatically drops it into a one link. Let me go ahead and pop that in here right here. We'll do it this way. All right. Here we go. Here we go. I mean, District 1. Now, see, this is what I was afraid of. This is what I was afraid of. I'm already going to knock this right out of the ballpark here and knock this one. 3-team district right out of the gate. This is unacceptable. 16 districts. This is what I was afraid of. And honestly, it should have been 12. This right here is going to cause more scheduling headaches. But let's roll with it. Let's talk about it. We'll go from there. Atlantic Coast, Creekside, Sandalwood, and 7A. The land in the 7A District 1. So this is 7A. The land, Flagler, Palmco, Spruce Creek University in District 2. As you can see, looking at it, you can see the first teams here from Districts 1 through 4. This would compromise Region 1. This would be Region 1. Looking at it, Haggerty, Lake Brantley, Lake Mary, Seminole, Colonial, Oak Ridge, Timber Creek University, Winter Park. So that would make up Region 1 right there. So 16 districts, honestly, this is what I was afraid of. Even though that was floated out there of a 12 district potential model, they went with a 16 district model here already. And honestly, I was hoping for some change. A lot of y'all were hoping for a lot of change. This is going to cause a lot of headache. All right. Looking at it here, going to District 5, we got Apopka, East Ridge, Ocoee, and West Orange in that one. Going actually in Westport. I'm sorry. Yes, that we got Westport too from Ocala in that district. Honestly, in my opinion, I would have put Westport in with the Jacksonville schools. I would have sent them to Jacksonville, but maybe the travel distance, maybe just to balance out the district numbers, to maybe give it a little bit of a balance. That's what I would have done. Okay, going from there, we've got George Jenkins, Haines City, Ridge Community, Winter Haven sitting there in District 6. Alonzo, Newsom, Plant City, Strawberry Crest, Sumner in District 7. Actually, that's not too far off from what I saw here. Northport, which is a team I thought was going to jump back into district play. Here they are, sitting here in this district. Lehigh, Northport, Riverview, Sarasota, and Venice. So we've got a very interesting Southwest Florida district that is going to stretch. Now, going to District 9 and 7A, you've got Boone, Dr. Phillips, Olympia, and Windermere sitting in District 9. District 10 sitting there with Celebration, Cypress Creek, Harmony, Lake Nona, and Tohopakalika. As they short for Toho on that one. So we, again, are live here across all the streaming platforms, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And going through Class 7A. These are the tentative classifications and districts here that we've got. Rolling through this, going into District 11 and 7A, we have Centennial, Fort Pierce Central, Treasure Coast, Vero Beach. Not surprising there. After that, District 12, Jupiter, Palm Beach Central, Palm Beach Lakes, Wellington. And in District 13, John I. Leonard, Lake Wharf, Park Vista, Santa Lucius, Boca Raton. Santa Lucius. And then after that, District 14 starts with Boca Raton, Coral Glades, Douglas, and Spanish River. District 15, Cypress Bay, Goldman, Taravella, Western. And then District 16 is a 5-team Miami-Dade County district with Columbus, Coral Gates, Miami, Palmetto, and South Dade. So far, what I'm seeing here, this looks very close to what I projected out on the 16-team district. That's available. You can still see that on FloorDishersFootball.com. If you want to see that, you can just pay the $2 and look at how close, and you start comparing. We'll compare this later on with going through this. But a lot of y'all took a look at that article that I posted Tuesday, and now it's Friday. A lot of views, a lot of clicks on that article, and I think we're pretty close here in terms of what the districts look like in terms of how it shaped out. All right. Going with 6A, Crestview, Navarre, Pace, Tate in District 1, First Coast, Fletcher, Mandarin, Oakleaf in District 2. In District on Oakleaf as well in District 3, so in District 2. So it's First Coast, Fletcher, Mandarin, Oakleaf in District 2. District 3, Bartram Trail, Buholtz, Nice, Tocoi Creek. That is District 3 in 6A. District 4 in 6A is Evans, Lake Howell, Oviedo, Wakima. All right, going into Region 2, District 5, Freedom, Melbourne, Osceola, St. Cloud, and Vieira in District 5. In District 6 is Davenport, Ocala Forest, Horizon, Lake Mineola, South Lake. District 7, Bartow, Bloomingdale, Durant, Riverview. So you're starting to see some mixture of Polk, Hillsborough. You're starting to see it's not falling strictly into the county line. So you're starting to see a mix here in terms of where teams are being positioned here. So we will see. And Tom Bailey had said, Union County, we're going down this here. So we're gonna roll with this here, going through the districts here. We're still in 6A. We're going to District 8, which includes 4 teams: Armwood, Plant, Sickles, Warren. That actually is going to be a really good district. That district I like. I like that district a lot. Very 3 competitive teams. Right? Actually, really, if all 4 teams are doing really well, that will be a very, very highly competitive district right there, just with 4 teams right there. So that one, actually, I like that one. All right, looking at District 9 in 6A, Lando Lakes, Mitchell, Sun Lake, Wiregrass Ranch. After that, District 10 is East Lake, Steinbrenner, Largo, and Palm Harbor University. District 11, Gateway out of Fort Myers, Lakewood Ranch, Leonard, and Palmetto. So there's going to be a little bit of travel there in that stretch right there in terms of that 6A. District 11, District 12. This is going to be interesting. There's going to be some crisscross right here in terms of where these teams for the playoffs are going to crisscross between Tampa and the Palm Beach County. This is where I struggle a little bit with this. All right. Looking at District 12, you got Dwyer, Palm Beach Gardens, Royal Palm Beach, Seminole Ridge, and West Boca Raton, and then headed down into Region 4, which includes Districts 13 through 16. Coral Springs, Fort Lauderdale, Monarch, Piper, District 13. Cooper City, Nova, South Broward, Sound Plantation, District 14. Dr. Crop, Flanagan, Miami Beach, West Broward in District 15. And District 16 is Doral Academy, Homestead, Miami, Southridge, Southwest Miami. If you notice, some of these districts look very similar to what we had the last couple of years between whether they were metro school classified districts or suburban districts. So, again, in terms of districts, maybe the setup is same in terms of the teams that are in the district, but in terms of the number of the teams that are actually in each classification, again, this is back to what we had before the 2 years of Metro Suburban. All right, into 5A. This is 5A right now, Class 5A. We've got Gulf Breeze, Milton, Mosley, Nicefield, Mosley, and okay, so let me repeat that again. Gulf Breeze, Milton, Mosley, Nicefield, District 1. District 2, Childs, Leon, Lincoln. 3-team district. This is, again, Reese Collier just brought this up in the feed. All these 3-team districts. This is what I was hoping for them to avoid. This was a big thing that we kept talking about and kept talking about these 3-team districts. Honestly, this is a little much. And I'm tired. It's the 3-team districts are really just really anything. This is really crazy right now. I mean, honestly, it really is a lot here to digest in. All right, rolling with this, going into District 3. District 3 in 5A is Beachside, Fleming Island, Middleburg, Orange Park, Ponte Vedra. Actually, I like that district. That's actually going to be a really competitive district looking at the teams in that district. So it's going to be a really, really good district here to watch here. District 4 in 5A. We're going to District 4 and 5A. Bellevue, Mainland, Matanzas. Honestly, this is where I struggle with these 3-team districts. This is where I struggle with the 3-team districts. Because all it takes is one team to back out and it's a 2-team district. Then you're sitting there really looking at it. It is, Reese, if you're telling me wait until I get to 2A and it's a truckload of 3-team districts, I believe you there. That was my fear. This was my fear. This is why I was hoping for a 12 district model. But again, everything that I heard, everything that was floated has not come to pass. And this is what's disappointing every single time. Why do we have to keep doing it? Again, there's so many people that have said this. If you keep trying to reinvent the wheel and expect the same outcome and the same thing every time, you're going to get you can expect something different. You're going to get it's not going to happen. You can't keep doing the same thing over and over and expect a different outcome. So let's roll here. District 5 in 5A. East River, Edgewater, Lake Buena Vista, Lyman, and Winter Springs. That's District 5. I kind of saw that coming right there. District 6, Kathleen, Lake Gibson, Lakeland, Sebring. No surprise there. Going from there, Cypress Creek, Gaither, Springstead, Wesley Chapel in District 7. District 8 is East Bay, Lato, Spoto, Tampa Bay Tech. After that, Braden River, Manatee Parish Community, and Pinellas Park in District 9. District 10 is Cape Coral, Charlotte, Ida Baker, Mariner. District 11, East Lee County, Fort Myers, North Fort Myers, Riverdale. Then after that, District 12 is Golden Gate, Gulf Coast, Immokalee, Palmetto Ridge. Going from there, District 13, Fort Pierce, Westwood, Heritage out of Palm Bay. And let's see, we got Heritage, Martin County, and South Fork. District 14 is Atlantic, Blanche-Ely, Coconut Creek, Deerfield Beach, Forest Hill. Going from District 15, Boyd Anderson, Hollywood Hills, MacArthur, St. Thomas Aquinas. District 16 is Everglades, Mater Academy, Miramar, North Miami, Pembroke Pines Charter. All right, going into 4A. This is what I found interesting that I can tell you this. I didn't expect Middleburg or Fleming Island or Orange Park to all be in 5A. I was projecting them 4A. That was another one that was interesting, is that some of these schools I had projected 4A are actually in 5A. And honestly, I think this is where I'm kind of confused here. Is did more teams join in? Did we use a hard cutoff line or not? That's what I want to know. Was it a card cutoff line? Did they actually do a dotted dash line that Shelton Cruz suggested from FHSAA? He kept suggesting that it should be a dotted line and move up or down. It shouldn't be a hard line because based upon the geography of these teams, the teams that were, the rivalries, that's the biggest question. I'm still struggling with this because, again, here we go. Another 3-team district, 4A, District 1, Escambia, Pine Forest, Pensacola, Booker T, Washington, I should say. Rolling along that. Going from there. District 2, Arnold, Choctaw, Fort Walton Beach, Rickards. That's District 2. District 3 is Clay, Columbia, Ridgeview, St. Augustine. There's some trouble right there. Especially if you're Columbia and St. Augustine. That's some travel. Across along Highway 100 and State Road 16. From there, District 4 is Ed White, Inglewood, Riverside. Honestly, I felt like you could have done a little bit better in terms of the number of districts, a number of teams spread across these districts here in 4A Region 1. I felt like it could have been done a little bit better. I mean, honestly. Here we go. All right. Rolling along here. District 5 is Gainesville, Lecanto, Leesburg, Vanguard. That is interesting. I would have found a way to put maybe get Gainesville over into region 1. I would have done that. Honestly, I would have done that. And I just saw a comment here that I am popping up here because we haven't got the 2A, but Matt McGonigal says 2A has a team that's playing 8-man and another team that's joined the FHSAA. We'll take a look at that. We'll talk about that here in a moment here. But it really is getting it's. So did I have St. Augustine? So you had St. Augustine and Lincoln. No. I did not actually. I did not have Lincoln and St. Augustine traveling to each other, which is over 3 hours. I did not have that. No, not in that one. Or are you talking about Hunter? If you're talking about that from back in the late 90s, if that's the case, then yeah, that is a little different. But no, I wouldn't have projected. I wouldn't have projected that. That wouldn't have happened. All right. Keep going, rolling along here. We've got District 6 here. We got Deltona, New Smyrna Beach, Pine Ridge, Rockledge, and and then oh wait, hold on, make sure that I'm reading this right. Deltona, New Smyrna Beach, Pine Ridge, Rockledge, Seabreeze. That's interesting with Rockledge being thrown in with the Daytona schools, but it looks like based upon this, they're the only Brevard County school that landed in Class 4A. So that is very, very interesting. Going into District 7, Auburndale, Jones, Lake Region, Lake Wells. That is interesting because Jones is going to have to fight some I-4 traffic there for some of those district games over the next 2 years that district holds. District 8, you got 5A, Freedom, Pasco, Zephyr Hills. District 9, going into Region 3, Blake, Brandon, Hillsborough, Jesuit, Middleton. District 10, Clearwater, Countryside, Gulf, and River Ridge composing District 10, Northeast, Osceola, Southeast, St. Petersburg composing of District 11. District 12 is Dunbar, Naples, Port Charlotte, and South Fort Myers. That's very interesting to see that. Dunbar, Naples, Port Charlotte, South Fort Myers. That was very interesting to see that right there. Going from there, Jensen Beach, Okeechobee, Port St. Lucie, Sebastian River in District 13. I didn't include Sebastian River in my projections at all. And there's a reason why. I've been told that no team in the Sunshine State Athletic Association is bolting. That's what I'm trying to understand here. Did Sebastian, I was told that some of the teams were applying for FHSAA and applying for FHSAA and seeing where the districts fell. There are going to be teams that are going to bolt out of this. We're going to see what happens. This is why I was praying for a 12 district model, not the 16 district model. Because the moment some teams are going to leave, it is going to create a lot of imbalance. Again, a lot of imbalance. And this is the problem I have with the current model. It's either we have one too many classifications in this state, or there's something going on here, and I don't understand the thinking. And I'm trying to figure out the thinking. Why do we keep doing the same thing when it shows and it keeps showing that the 16 district model does not work? There has to be some give here. A 12 district model would have worked. I would have cut a classification off and made the things a little bit more compact. Honestly, there's 7 classifications would be fine to Florida. 8 is one too many. 9 was one too many, as we saw here in Metro Suburban. 9 was too many. I liked Metro Suburban, but I didn't like how many classifications we had, or without consolidation of the number of districts. That's where I've had the problem. All right. Rolling along, District 13, we mentioned that right there. District 14, Boynton Beach, Dillard, Dr. Garcia, and Northeast and Suncoast. That District 14, District 15, American Heritage, Archbishop McCarthy. Archbishop McCarthy was a team that I thought was going to really see, there in that case. And honestly, I got a text message. Philip Crutchfield's watching, and he got to send me a text message here just now. Simple answer about no. Hey, honestly, you can still have the same number of playoff teams by doing a 12 district model. But but yes, I mean one less classification. But I get it. But you're reducing one class out of this already with Metro Suburban had 9. You're taking one class out of it. Are you you're cutting playoff revenue. So I'm curious to see where this is going to go. All right. District 15, American Heritage, Archbishop McCarthy, Miami Norland Plantation. That is actually interesting. Miami Norland, American Heritage Plantation in the same district. Sign me up. I'll take that one any day. All right, rolling along. District 16, American Berlin Jesuit, Hialeah, South Miami. That's District 16. Going into 3A, District 1 would be Bay, Pensacola, West Florida. District 2 is Baker County, Godby, Wakulla. That's interesting. I didn't see that one coming. I would have thought they would have consolidated, send the Tallahassee schools, sending Godby and Wakulla over to play with Bay, Pensacola, and West Florida. I would have done that. That would have been a more simpler solution in that regard. Rolling along here, we've got Bishop Kenny, Menendez, Terry Parker, West Side there in District 4. District 3 as Rains, Rebolt, Yulee. That is some reminiscence of the districts just a few years back. Rolling to District 5, we have Dunnellon, Eastside, North Marion, Santa Fe. District 6 includes Atlantic, Bishop Moore, Eustis, Mount Dora, and Taveri. Pretty close there in terms of what the districts, where they were set up. Brooksville Central, Citrus, Crystal River, Hernando, Weeki Wachee. District 7. District 8 is O'Galley, Merritt Island, Palm Bay, Satellite, Titusville. District 9, Anclote, Dunedin, Hudson, Nature Coast. Actually, not too bad sitting there in that situation right there for that district. Chamberlain, Jefferson, King, Robinson in that District 10. Bayshore, Boca Ciega, Booker, and Gibbs in District 11. District 12 is DeSoto County, Hardy, Mulberry. In that district, a 3-team district. Not surprised there. That district set up there in that regard. And rolling along here. Yeah, I'm trying to roll the thing. I've got some text messages rolling in here too. So forgive me if I'm looking down at my phone here as we're talking here. But a lot of y'all have given up a lot of comments and questions here. I mean, if you got some surprises that you feel like you've seen here, what I've read off so far, seen on the screen here, please feel free to share those here as well. All right, looking at District 13, we got Cypress Lake, Estero, Island Coast, and Lemon Bay. District 14 is Aubrey Rogers, Barron Collier, Bonita Springs, and Lele. District 15 is Miami Central, Pompano Beach. Pompano Beach was an interesting one because I didn't project them because Pompano Beach has struggled, and I honestly don't see Pompano Beach staying in this one. And I think Pompano Beach is out. And when the matter of the fact, Pompano Beach is looking at this and saying, we're out. I fault them when you're in the same district, Miami Central. That's what I'm wondering. But after that, Somerset Academy and out of Pembroke Pines and Stranahan, that's District 15. District 16 is Key West, Miami Jackson, Miami North Washington, and St. Brendan. That's District 16. All right, here we go. District and 2A, District 1, Freeport, Pensacola, South Walton, Pensacola Catholic, South Walton, Walton. Freeport is one of the rural teams that is out. They are out. Their numbers were over 700. They're out of the rural now. And yes, Freeport is growing. There's a lot of development going on in Freeport. There's been development in obviously in Santa Rosa Beach. So South Walton was rural at one time. They're out. Freeport, now the last rural team in Walton County, they're out. All the growth in along 30A and then the southern part of so now going into the central part of Walton County, you're starting to see it here. Rolling along, we got District 2 here, Mariana, North Bay Haven, Rutherford, and Bozeman. Bozeman, another team, rural team, that is out. They are out of rural. Their numbers were over 700 as well. All right, going into District 3, Florida High, Gaston County, Suwannee, and Taylor County. Not really surprised here by that district setup. Going along, further along, District 4, you have Andrew Jackson, Baldwin, Bowles, Fernandina Beach, West Nassau, and Wilson. That is District 4 right there. District 5 includes Bradford, Crescent City, Keystone Heights, Newberry, and Palaca. So that is District 5. Again, Newberry, another rural team that is now out of the rural. So Newberry out, and they're now in a classification in a district there. Going into District 6, you got Astronaut, Cocoa, South Sumter, Umatilla. By the way, Umatilla announced they're going to the Sunshine State Athletic Association. They're out. And then Villages. Honestly, I did not see this coming. I did not expect to see South Sumter be placed in a district like this. And honestly, South Sumter, yes, Matt McGonigal, yes, Umatilla did join the SSA. That's why I'm pointing out that one, because Umatilla is out. So really that district is Astronaut, Cocoa, South Sumner, the Villages. Honestly, that's quite a bit of travel. But Cocoa and Astronaut, I mean, what do you have to do here? I mean, honestly, I think there could have been better ways to situate this district. I think you could have. I think there would have been better ways to situate some of these teams. But I digress. Avon Park, Discovery, and Discovery did not have a football team last year. I don't know if they're even having a football team this year. I don't know if they applied to come back in and because they didn't have football. I don't know. So let's look at this. Avon Park, Discovery, Lake Placid, Tinnerock. Right now, I can tell you three of those teams are playing football. Discovery, I don't know. But I digress. Rolling along, Berkeley Prep, Calvary Christian, Tampa Catholic makes up District 8, Cardinal Mooney, Lakewood, Tarpon Springs, District 9. Honestly, again, this is why I feel like a 16 district model was too much. They should have gone 12 districts. Because we are going to see some teams go for independent status based upon seeing this. So that's my fear. All right. District 10, Bishop Road, Clewiston, Glade Central. District 11, Inlet Grove, Kings Academy, Somerset Canyons. District 12, American Heritage out of Delray Beach. Calvary Christian out of Fort Lauderdale, North Broward Prep. District 13 is Cardinal Gibbons, Hallandale, Pinecrest. District 14, Miami Carroll City. Monsignor Pace, North Miami Beach, Westland Hialeah, District 15, Immaculate LaSalle, Miami Springs, Ransom Everglades, which I did not see Ransom Everglades jumping back in. That was a team I did not have in my projections, but here they are. Let's see what happens. Booker T. Washington, Gulliver Prep, Somerset, Miami Killian, and Somerset Silver Palms. See, and that's District 16, by the way. So District 15 is Immaculate Cell, Miami Springs, Ransom Everglades, Booker T. Washington. District 16 is Gulliver Prep, Miami Killian, Somerset, Silver Palms. Honestly, a lot of 3-team districts. I'm really, 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 really stunned. So, but then again, I shouldn't be shocked. So there's that. Anyways. Rolling along here, we have FAMU DRS out of Tallahassee in District 1, McClay in District 2, North Florida Christian, and I'm actually, sorry, reading this wrong. FAMU District in District 1, so this is District 1, FAMU DRS, McClay, North Florida Christian, St. John Paul II. District 2 is Episcopal North Florida Educational, Seacoast Christian, which, Seacoast Christian, I don't even know who and what and how they're in there. Because Seacoast Christian, I don't know if they're applied for football or what's going on. That one is a head scratcher to me right there. So we'll see what happens. Trinity Christian is the other team in District 2. In District 3, Impact Christian applied. I don't know what's going on there. Impact Christian, Bobby Ramsey was the head coach. He's now the head coach over at Andrew Jackson. I don't know what's going on. They were in the Sunshine State Athletic Association. Didn't even have Impact Christian on my list to consider. So this is, again, another reason why the 12 district model would have been so much better. I'm going to keep hammering this home. All right. Rolling along here, district and going to District 4. We got Fort White. Fort White is out of rural. So this is the Fort White, PK Young, Union County, Williston. They were right there on the bubble. All those teams were on the bubble of the rural. They were right on the cutoff. Fort White, Union County, Williston. They're in 1A. So keep that in mind. We'll see what the 1A rural looks like here in a moment here. This is what we're going to roll along with here in a moment. All right. Father Lopez, Halifax, Pearson Taylor, Trinity Catholic. Pearson Taylor was another one that was a very much on the bubble. And but they're in that district in District 5. So, here we go. District 6, First Academy, Foundation Academy, Holy Trinity, Melbourne Central Catholic, and Orlando Christian Prep. Actually, I'm not surprised by that district setup. That really kind of not surprised me there that district came about. District 7, Frostproof, Lakeland Christian, Victory Christian. District 8, Bishop McLaughlin. Bishop McLaughlin, I know, is not a thing. Matt McGonigal, Pearson Taylor, you say that's rumored to go to 8-man football. I have actually had conversations with multiple sources. It's a discussion, but honestly, I don't see them doing that. I don't see them doing that because I just don't know if the Sunshine State Athletic Association is going to accept them into the thing. Because my understanding that was that the 8-man division is only for charter and private schools. So and Pearson Taylor being a public school, I don't know. I just don't see it happening. So yes. All right, let's roll along here in terms of the other teams here. Again, there's some confusion here because some of these teams that I have never heard of are having football teams. So this is, again, just bear with us. Bishop McLaughlin, Cambridge, Carrollwood Day, Sanford Hills Christian in District 8, Clearwater Central Catholic, Indian Rocks Christian, Northside Christian, St. Petersburg Catholic in District 9. District 10, Evangelical Christian, Southwest Florida Christian, Gulf Coast Heat. Gulf Coast Heat is a program that it's a school that I've never seen have a football program unless they're launching a football program this year. I don't know what the case is. Again, here is another case in point example. I'd rather have had the 12 district model versus this one. All right. District 11, Community School of Naples, First Baptist, and St. John Newman. That's District 11 right there. District 12, Benjamin Cardinal Newman, John Carroll. Slam, I don't even know why Slam's listed in here. Slam didn't even have a football team this year. They discontinued their football team. They were supposed to go to the Sunshine State Athletic Association. Never did. Never made it there. Canceled their football team all outright. So, again, this is, again, where I question some of these programs or schools are just committing and saying they have a football program when they really don't have a football program. And again, this is hard for me. This is hard for me. I would really like to see much better in terms of what the FHA does. I really would like to see much better out of this. I thought we were going to have maybe, a chance of having better. I've been proven wrong again. And honestly, I knew I had a feeling that this was going to happen. They were going to go 16 district model, and this is a mess, in my opinion. This is a mess. It shouldn't be like this. We should have bigger districts so the teams don't have to sit there and fight to try to schedule. As it stands right now, a lot of teams are going to fight to schedule here. They're gonna have a hard time scheduling. District 13, Somerset Academy Key. They went independent last year. So I don't know why they're back in the district. I don't know what's going on. They're trying to build a football program. But being put in this district, I just don't know. Somerset Prep, they were independent the last couple of years. I'm curious to see if this is actually going to hold with the district. St. Andrews, St. John Paul II out of Boca Raton. That's District 13 right there. District 14, Avant-Garde, Chaminade Madonna, Florida Christian, Miami Edison. Edison and Chaminade Madonna, that's really interesting. That is really, really interesting right there, where they are sitting there in District 14 and 1A. District 15 is Archbishop Carroll Bridge Prep Academy, True North, Westminster Christian, and then 16 is Everglades Prep, Palm Glades Prep, Palmer Trinity, and Somerset South Homestead. All right. Let's roll this real quick here. All right. Rural. This is what we were looking at. One of the last things we're going to look at is rural. Region 1. This is the smallest 32. I think I was pretty close on point where it was going to be land at. We'll go from there. Smallest 32. All right. Baker. Central out of Milton. They are a new team. They started the JV. They're going to varsity this year. So Central out of Milton, which is actually it's very rural, up in the northern part of Santa Rosa County. I'm trying to make sure I get my counties right here because it's like Escambia, Santa Rosa, Okaloosa, Walton. I think I've got it right. So, all right, roll along here. Chipley, Gracefield, Holmes County, Jay, Northview, Vernon. So those are the 8 teams that are going to be, let me make sure that we counted this right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. I was hoping that they did this right. 8 teams per region with the 32 smallest schools. All right. Blountstown, Cottondale, Franklin County, Liberty County, Monroe Day did qualify for rural, so they're in. They're in rural. Port St. Joe, Sneeds, Weehawken. That's the region 2. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So at least they did one thing right. I think they did. Was putting 8 teams to a region. That's it. In rural. Like they were supposed to. Osceola Christian, Brantford, Dixie County, Hamilton County, Hilliard, Jefferson County, Lafayette, Madison County, Madison County. That is region 3 in rural. All right. Some people told me that Moorhaven, I said that there was 2 teams that they told me that they said, oh, well, Fort Meade's not going to do it. Moorhaven's not going to do it. But Fort Meade and Moorhaven did it. They are in rural. They applied for rural. That was actually accurate. That was accurate. All right. So we have Chiefland, Fort Meade, Hawthorne, Marathon. Marathon qualified for rural. And you're going to ask me why Marathon qualified for rural. And I didn't have Marathon on my projections, but Marathon, it's not because necessarily like it's rural in some ways, like in terms of like what you think rural agriculturally. It's rural in a lot of ways because of the fishing industry down there in terms of where Marathon is at. So Marathon qualified for rural, and Marathon's going to take rural, and it's good to see Marathon back into state series here. So this is very much an interesting development that I didn't see coming here, but here it is. And then of course here's Moorhaven. Some people said, "Oh, Moorhaven's not going to do it." Well, Moorhaven did it. Because Moorhaven don't want to be in the same classification with Chaminade Madonna, which is what would have happened. Same thing for Fort Meade. That's what it would have happened. It would have been the same classification as Chaminade Madonna and a couple of the big power schools. And then you got Trenton Wildwood sitting there. And then, of course, here's all the independent schools. I was assuming, yep, Bell, again, here you go. These are the schools that declared independence. And I'm not surprised here. Windermere Prep was a team I thought might have been in, but they're in the FHSAA now, so they're there. Again, a lot of these schools, I didn't include a lot of the Miami schools that were already independent. They stayed out. Olympic Heights, that's another team that, I'm not surprised they went independent after Ponciana stayed independent. Rocky Bayou Christian went back to independence. So, again, a lot of teams here that I'm not surprised here how it happened. It really does not surprise me. Hollins was a team that went independent. I thought they might still stick around the district, but they decided to go ahead and declare for independence. Seminole out of Pinellas County, that was a team that did announce that they were going. There's some teams on here that said that show independence. I'd never heard of having them have teams, so we'll keep an eye on those and see what the final is. One team I thought was going to go into district play, but has not, is Destin. I'm curious to see if they're going to join maybe the FHSAA Atlantic League or something. I don't know. I haven't heard anything. Maybe they're just, they're more apt to play independent. But Destin was not even going to qualify for the Rural League, so it wasn't going to happen that way. I can tell you that was not going to happen based upon where they sit at in Okaloosa County. But there you go. This is what we got here. Any questions for anybody that has got a question here that I may have missed, gone through too fast? I mean, please tell me. I'll pop them in the comments box. We'll take your questions here for the next few minutes here as we wrap up our reactions and everything. I mean, there's definitely a lot here, and Hunter Williams said, "I just wish we had a larger district because we have a hard time finding 7 games." He's not wrong. He's talking about Columbian, and he's right. It definitely made it hard right there in terms of finding games, and it's going to be hard for a lot of teams to find games, especially with the way the districts are set up. So, yeah. Yes. So, I mean, this whole 16 district model setup, this is, man, I really wish it was 12. They kept floating around. I even heard from a couple, reliable sources saying they were looking at the 12 district model, and this is what we get. 16 districts instead. And honestly, this is not going to help a lot of football teams. This is not going to help a lot of football teams. It's not going to help at all. Because honestly, it's just going to cause more headaches for scheduling, more headaches in terms of maybe potentially travel with their games. They could have done so much better doing 12 districts per class. It would have been better with the districts. The districts would have had more teams, would have caused less headaches with terms of scheduling. All it takes is one team to back out of one of these 3-team districts to make it a 2-team district. One team to back out of these 4-team districts to make it a 3-team district. What's the fairness in that? How is that competitive? That's what's really disappointing in this. I'm disappointed in seeing this from the FHSAA. I felt like, hey, we're gonna make some changes. We're gonna do some better things here. This was it. This was the opportunity. Considering a lot of coaches that are watching right now are not happy with what happened here. I mean, a lot of coaches are not happy at all what has happened here. Can I go all the way back up? Someone is asking that question here, but good luck with scheduling, everyone. Reese Collier is saying that. And 6A District 4. Let me go back to that one. Because Oak Ridge let's bring in that one. 6A District 4. That one, that's an interesting district, especially there since, Evans, Lake Howell, Oviedo, and Wekiva. That's interesting. I'm curious to see how that's all going to work itself out. It could go one of two ways. It can either be a very competitive district or it won't be competitive at all. I don't know if there's any in between in that district right there. I mean, if Evans, Oviedo, or Wekiva are all doing really well, oh man, that'll be a fun district to watch. But if only one of those three teams, I mean, Lake Howell, I'm kind of curious to see how they go with the head coaching search there. But Lake Howell, man, I don't know. I mean, this one, it's definitely interesting. I mean, and seeing that Freedom of Orlando Freedom, Melbourne, Osceola, and St. Cloud together, and then of course Vieira. I mean, that's I would have thrown Freedom over towards into District 4, not District 5. You just created way more trouble, I think, in my opinion, for Freedom than they needed. I mean, there's some situations here where the travel has been set up where it's very interesting in the terms of the travel. I mean, it's a struggle. It's a struggle with that. So, anyways, definitely appreciate everybody that's been watching here. I mean, if there's any other questions, please feel free to hit me up here before we sign off. We're going to sign off probably here around in the next couple minutes here as we roll along here. And, I mean, honestly, I just don't know. I mean, there's some positive districts. There's some good districts here that I've seen here. I mean, even if they're 14 districts, there's some good districts here that I really like, and what I really like to what I see here in terms of how competitive these districts are going to be. I really thought like Apopka would have been over with in terms of like Brantley, like Marion, Seminole. I mean, I felt like would have been a district right there because those teams have been usually pretty competitive in that particular district. I would have thought that too, but looking at some of these districts here, I mean, going back and looking at it through real quick here, I mean, there's no surprise here, I mean, the Treasure Coast district, I mean, that's always going to be competitive, especially if you have Vero Beach and Treasure Coast together, that's always going to be a district that's going to be worth watching here. First goes Fletcher, Mandarin, Oakleaf. Actually, that's not a bad district. That actually could be a very, very competitive district, depending on if everyone's doing well that year. I mean, for 24 and 25, that should be a very competitive district. Actually, this Bartram Trail, Buell, Nice, and Tucoy Creek together. Actually, that's a really good district in a lot of ways. Tucoy Creek was up on the rise. Nice was much improved this year. Bartram Trail, Buell was state semifinalists. I actually like that district. That one's really going to be real good. Jesuit, Hillsborough, Brandon, and Middleton. I believe that is going back here. Hold on. Let me see. I want to say that was a class. Yeah, and no sooner I get used to the new classifications, everything changes. So just give me a patience here to find everybody's team here because it's not as easy to search as I would think. Here we go. Let's see. Brandon. Let me see. Yes. Right here, District 9, Blake, Brandon, Hillsborough, Jesuit, Middleton. Honestly, I'm surprised Brandon, but then again, Hillsborough County teams, they definitely, I say this, I'm surprised Brandon didn't go independent, but, I know it's hard in Hillsborough County to go independent, and yes, those are all 4A schools, so that's what we have here. Yes. So, really quick, a couple of things I want to plug here. We're going to have poll results coming from the coaches. We surveyed a lot of coaches. We've almost 200 responses from coaches in terms of what happened, how they feel about this with the classifications, how it would be everything in terms of, how they felt that the FHA handled this with the board of directors, how they, feel about, getting rid of Metro Suburban and honestly, there's some really good comments. Some coaches shared some comments that we will share. We will share some of the best ones. There's some that the coaches that have given us responses who decided to remain anonymous. We're respecting that with them as well because again, it's an open to give them a platform to be able to talk about what how they feel. Some decided they don't want us to share what they have. That's fine. We respect that as well. So that's going to be coming up here on FloorHSFootball.com right after the holidays. After Christmas, we'll have that over in the next week. We'll have that, all that information from the survey results. We're trying to get a good mix of balance between Metro and Suburban and coaches, and that's what we've kind of done here. I can tell you this, over 60% of the coaches, based upon the survey results so far, they don't agree with getting rid of Metro Suburban. Even, I mean, honestly, there's been more Metro coaches than I thought would have been that would have that actually was okay with Metro Suburban that I have heard from. So that is really interesting. And I see there's a few more comments that have popped up in here. So Chris Tua says, so with 16 districts for playoffs, it would be 4 district chance at 4 at large. Yes, per region. Yes, correct. That would be the case. Will this stay or will this change? These are tentative. This is what was listed on the FHSAA website. These are tentative, and that's what we're going to roll with here for them. It is a tentative situation for, it says in red, these classifications are tentative pending the appeals process per policy 12. The deadline for appeal is January 12, 2024, so we won't know what the final look is going to be until after January 12th. So just stay tuned on that one. Where's innovation in the new schools? So that is a good question. Where's innovation in the new school? They're not on there yet because they haven't applied for the FHSAA membership, so they're not in FHSAA membership yet. They will be applied. They'll be applied and be in as an FHSAA member come June when the June meeting happens and they do all the stuff with the membership. Then that's when they'll be in there. So they're not slotted in, but I suppose that somewhere maybe we might find out that they're slotted in somewhere. We'll find out. We'll wait and see what happens there. So that's a good question right there from Coach McGonigal. And then Coach Mills pops in and says, hearing you talk seems like there's a ton of teams that aren't staying in the FHSAA, but maybe that's not me listening to you. Honestly, I feel like there's some teams that I'm looking at here. I feel like they're not going to be staying in. I just based upon looking at the district. That's what I was hearing from various sources, that a lot of teams would, some teams they apply for both SSAA membership and for FHSAA membership. And, for FHSAA State Series, and they were waiting to see what the district was like before they made the decision if they're going to go SSAA or they're going to stay in the State Series. So we'll see what happens here. Again, the next few weeks it's going to be very telling to see how many teams are going to bolt out of the districts compared to how many teams are going to stay here in the State Series now that they have seen what their placement is. That's where I'm concerned. This is why I have a feeling. This is why I have a feeling that this is the 16 district model could backfire on the FHSAA. Let's see how many 2-team districts we end up with after all this. Let's see how many 3-team districts we end up with this after all this is said and done with the appeals process. Because honestly, what I'm seeing here, this is a little bit of a mess in some ways. There's some good districts. There's some positives in this with some of the districts. But in terms of the number of 3-team districts, 4-team districts, that's where I'm struggling at. That's where I feel like there's some struggles there. So, yes, absolutely. I'm kind of curious to see what is going to happen next. So, I mean, looking at the enrollment spreads, they're all right. They're okay for some degree, but like 1A 61 to 643, that's a huge spread. That's a very huge spread. Are the Miami powerhouses split up? That is a wonderful question, actually, and we can take a look at that here in terms of the Miami powerhouses. Obviously, Columbus up in the highest classification. St. Thomas is actually in 5A. They're not in 6A, which actually is interesting to say that 5A, St. Thomas Aquinas is in two, not in the second highest class, but they're in the third highest class now. So that makes it interesting right there in that one. Looking around here, 4A, let's go down here into the 4A section. Miami Norland is in 4A. So yes, Miami Norland, you don't see Miami Central here. So Miami Norland's in 4A. So you got that split. So Miami Norland's in 4A. Going down here to 3A's where you're going to find teams like Miami Central, Miami Jackson, Miami Northwestern. So again, some of the schools, Miami Edison is all the way down, and believe they were 2A, listed as 2A or 1A, actually. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Like, okay, Booker T. Washington's a 2A school. All right. And then, yeah, Miami Edison down here. Let's go down to Miami Edison right here. They're 1A. So, yes, the Miami schools are split up. I'm curious to see how this is going to play out. So, I'm very curious to see how this is going to play out. But, yes. Tyler Glenn's got a good question, and this is one I can answer real quick. Alabama and Georgia have the region models, 8 regions, 8 teams per. Is there too much travel involved for Florida to go that route? Yes, that's been one of the biggest things that's been a holdback for Florida, is because our geography being so unique in terms of, you know, Pensacola to Key West, that it's a very long distance. So in order to do kind of like the playoff bracket like Georgia does, where they take 4 teams per region and they put them in different quadrants, those 4 teams into different quadrants, so you don't end up having rematches along the way during the playoffs. This is exactly, it's a problem, and it's something that's it cannot be done in Florida because of the geographical travel. I mean, coaches are already being not paid enough money as it is. I mean, some schools can't even fundraise, you know. They don't even be able to get the proper fundraisers. They don't have the ability to have booster clubs. Some schools are not allowed to have booster clubs. So, again, a lot of varying factors here. Why we don't have this, and money is going to be the biggest factor in terms of the travel costs, because, honestly, some teams, they had to pay like $4,000 per charter bus just to make a trip from Panama City to Gainesville for a playoff game. So, if that says anything, that's why we're not going to have what we have Alabama and Georgia as. And that's just, it's money. I wish we did it. I wish we could do it. I wish we could say, I know travel shouldn't be a factor, but I know that it's going to be a factor when a lot of people's schools say, hey, you know, we don't have the money. We're already going in the hole to cover the playoffs, you know. So that's the biggest answer right there, and why we're not going to have that probably for a long time. You know, maybe one day it changes. You know, all the schools have the money and they have everything that they need. But we'll see what happens. Reese Collier asking the open division may be needed. You know what? There's a lot of open debate on that one, Reese. A lot of open debate, and we'll remain to see if that actually is even going to come back up on the table now, because some people believe this might have been a Trojan horse to get the classifications changed. So we'll see what happens from there. So, all right. With that said, we've been on here for over an hour. We've had the new classifications, the new districts are out. We definitely appreciate everybody joining us here. Again, stay tuned on FHSFootball.com. We got content pieces. We've got the coaches survey results coming up here next week from our survey. Also, we have some stuff coming from the FHSAA North-South All-Star game. We have that. We'll have a little recap from that game that happened on Wednesday. We'll have some stuff there from that. And then we've got a big piece that we're working on. We were invited to the Jaguars Prep All Top 25 team. That happened Wednesday evening. We were there. We captured some great content. We got some other content that the Jaguars are sharing with us. We're going to be having that across here on FloatHSFootball.com later today here. So stay tuned for that. There'll be a write-up piece on that as well. And it was definitely a wonderful event. Adriel Roca and all the Jaguars staff there with the Jaguars Community Foundation and Jaguars Prep did an amazing job for the athletes that were picked for the All Prep Top 25 team. And you'll see that coming up here on FloatHSFootball.com. With all of that said, we definitely appreciate everybody that has been joining us here and everything. But, it definitely has been an interesting hour, to say the least. A lot here to digest, a lot to settle in, a lot that could change here over the course of the next few weeks as the appeal process happens, and once the FHA gets the final appeal results and on final decisions from some of these schools that are on the fence about if they're going to stay in the state series or they're going to go elsewhere to play football for 2024 and 2025. With all that said, definitely appreciate everybody that's joined here over the last hour. Stay tuned to FloatHSFootball.com for more content. And if you're not an MVP member, sign up. It's worth it. Yes, we got multiple options there to sign up. Go to FloatHSFootball.com and then click on the MVP button right on your menu button. We appreciate everybody watching here for the last hour of the FHA Football Reclassification Reaction Show here on FloatHSFootball.com and FloatHSFootball.com social media platforms. Appreciate everybody joining us here. Until next time, I'm Joshua Wilson of FortHSFootball.com. We'll be back after the new year with more shows, more blitz shows, more content, and more great, exciting news and all that. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. We'll see you after the new year, and Happy New Year as well.